ערב טוב לכולם. לפני שאנחנו את המורה, אני ככה אתן כמה מילות פתיחה. אתם שומעים אותי טוב? רק שאני יודע שעשו לי סימן. יופי, מעולה. אני אהיה המנחה של הזום, אז אם יש איזה שאלות תוך כדי אפשר לשלוח לי בצ'אט בפרטי. ברוכים הבאים למפגש של ידי הדרמה. יומיים, יש לנו היום את הפתיחה, ומחר יש לכם סשנים שהשעות שלהם באתר של ידי הדרמה. אני לוסang, תכף תצטרף אלינו, ואני רואה שהיא כבר הצטרפה אלינו, אז היי, אני לוסang. תכף I will just explain a little bit and then...
Yeah. No hurry. Take your time.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. So, אז למי שלא מכיר, אני לוסang, כרגע נמצאת בשוויץ. היא נזירה שמלווה אותנו כבר הרבה שנים את ידידי הדרמה. מלווה אותנו גם בפן האישי וגם בתור קבוצה. היא נולדה בשנת 1900, ניתן ככה תקציר עליה, למי שלא מכיר, וזו פעם ראשונה שהוא נפגש איתה. אז היא נולדה בשנת 1950 בשוויץ, ובגיל 16 עזבה את בית הספר והתחילה לחפש את דרכה. היא עושה המון דברים, אחד הדברים שאני תספר שהיא הייתה מטפסת הרים, ניהלה מסעדה ועוד הרבה דברים, והגיעה לדרמסלה, וב-1960 היא השתתפה בקורס במנזר קופן, שם היא פגשה את המורה שלה, היקר טנצ'ם קיוטי רינפוצ'ה, ולאחר מכן היא החליטה להתמסר לבודהיזם. ב-1991 היא קיבלה את נדרי הנזירות, ומשנת 2006 היא לימדה בבודהיצ'יטה, שם אני פגשתי אותה, בדרמסלה, והרבה קורסים דרך הארגון FPNT. ולבקשתו של המורה שלה, מורה השורש שלה, טנצ'ם קיוטי רינפוצ'ה, בשנת 2006 היא קבעה את מושבה הקבוע בברן, והיא מלמדת לבקשתו בכל אירופה וגם בישראל. לישראל בדרך כלל, מי שמכיר, היא מגיעה לכמה חודשים, וגם הביקור הזה תוכנן לכמה חודשים בארץ, ובסוף בעקבות זה שהבנו שלא יהיה לה אפשרות להיכנס לארץ, אז שינינו את הקונספט וחזרנו לזום. אז הקורסים שלה יהיו במהלך החודשים הקרובים, אתם יכולים להמשיך לעקוב באתר ולראות את שאר הקורסים שמתוכננים, ואנחנו ננסה כמה שיותר כמובן ליהנות ולהצטרף כמה שיותר לקורסים, למרות שזה רחוק, אבל יש לנו את הטכנולוגיה של הזום ובאמת אפשר להודות על כך. אני בהמשך ארשום עוד פרטים. מי שלא יודע, ארגון לידי הדרמה, הכל נעשה על ידי דנה, זאת אומרת, הכל בהתנדבות. אנחנו לא גובים שום סכום בשום אחת מהפעילות שלנו, כל אחד תורם על פי נדיבות ליבו, ואני אשים את הקישור גם בצ'אט, היום וגם מחר. יש לכם אפשרות לשלם או דרך ישירות, אתם לוחצים שם לפייפל, בדף של הקורס עצמו, ברגע שאתם רושמים דונייט, אז זה מעביר אתכם ישר לשתי אפשרויות, או לדרך כרטיס אשראי, או דרך חשבון פייפל. אז זה האפשרויות של התשלום. אם למישהו יש איזשהו קושי, אז יכול לרשום לי בצ'אט, ואני בדוק איך אני יכולה לעזור לו. אז אנחנו יכולים לפי דעתי להתחיל. אני מבקשת לשים לב מאוד שאתם על מיוט במהלך השיעור. לפעמים ככה לא שמים לב, פותחים לרגע, כי הייתה איזו השתתפות או עניתם על איזו שאלה, רציתם לשאול משהו, אבל תחזירו את זה בבקשה למיוט. כל הסשנים, כל השיעורים מוקלטים ביוטיוב, אז אתם יכולים לצפות בזה שוב, וגם מישהו צריך לצאת או צריך לעשות דברים אחרים, אז אפשר אחר כך לצפות בזה. זהו, אני לא סתם. We are ready for you. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Well, hello everybody to this Yom Kippur kind of day and a half. So we just pretend as if I was in Israel and we're all in Nesamim or somewhere, and that we are doing this together. So what we usually start with also is, of course, you know, the big dinner that you would have probably had until now, I suppose. Then also what you need to start with here is to really make your own decision whether you want to take these vows or not. Like, I don't want to force you, and I don't want to convince you that this is a good thing. You know, I think everybody is responsible for themselves. I will maybe talk a little bit about the advantage of taking these vows and why we take these vows and how we take them. But I feel that sometimes, you know, people almost, when we talk about this, and they, in the Yom Kippur Retreat, is like, there's always quite a lot of people who come because they want to do something spiritual, but they, you know, not really religious. So taking vows is a religious thing because it comes with ceremonies, and it's Buddhism who can offer you to take these vows. But I would say, you know, from my own side, you can alter them a little bit. You can, if you think, no, I don't want to take refuge and all this. I just read a little bit what Lama Zopa says. So he says you can take these vows, before you take refuge, actually. But it has to be voluntarily. You shouldn't feel that somebody is kind of forcing you to do this. Otherwise, you're very welcome to stay. You're very welcome to listen, but to think like, oh no, thank you very much. This is not for me. I don't want to take vows. I don't need to take vows. Usually it's a bit this kind of attitude, as if we are taking them for somebody else, as if we're taking them to please the Buddha or to please God or whatever. So why we take vows, we take them for our own benefit, but then because they're not just called, the 8 precepts, they're called the 8 Mahayana precepts. We are taking them with an attitude of Bodhichitta, which I can see if I look at the names who is present. I guess most of you know what Bodhichitta is. So it's like we have to really be sure and confident that we have incredible potential, and something that I think we already have. This is why you're here. We have values. We have values that, for example, that being generous is a good thing, that being patient is a good thing, being wise is a good thing. Wise, I don't mean intelligence, but wise is like, seeing what in the long run leads to happiness and understanding what leads to suffering. This kind of wisdom, and to be compassionate and all these kinds of things. So I think we all have this, and now I'm talking for myself. I have these values, but I'm not able to live them all the time. Like there's just a few people who push my buttons. Now I'm not here where I am now. And then I feel myself kind of acting in a way that I'm not happy about it afterwards. While I'm acting in that way, what I'm talking about, maybe rejection, not wanting to cooperate. When they say, I like this, I say, oh no, I don't like this. Do you see what I'm talking about here? You also have this kind of thing. But this is not one of my values, to disagree with somebody about stupid things, things that are absolutely not important. But still, I feel I can do it. I do it sometimes. So this is also why I take these vows, so that at least 24 hours, I'm really, really careful. And if you feel also that you have certain habits or attitudes, that you would really like to change, then as you are taking the vows, if you are taking them, then make sure that you include what you want to not nourish, what you don't want to increase, because every time we follow a tendency that is going against our values, kind of we strengthen that habit. This is what it is. Every time we're able to say, oh no, thank you, I saw it, I feel the push, I feel the wish to do it, which would give me some very short-lived relief. That's true. It's more painful to resist tendencies and habits than to give in the short run. But in the long run, of course, it's much better not to be under the control of these habits that you decide. You decide which kind of person you want to be. You decide which values you have and you would like to live, and so on. Yeah, so it's absolutely your own decision how you want to live your life. The Buddha gave us, of course, guidelines, but he didn't say you have to do this. He only, it's not a commandment or something like that. It's recommendation. Like if you do this, this happens. If you do that, then that happens. And I think we can really, when it comes down to emotions and long-term results, not so much short-term results, when it comes down to that, we can definitely see that there is some truth in this, that, acting out of anger, jealousy, miserliness, a lot of self-concern, What else do we have? Attachment, greed, desire, that in the long run, it doesn't bring any happiness. And also, as we can see, it destroys the planet, and it brings a lot of conflict and a lot of suffering. I think, we can agree with this when we look at the Four Noble Truths of the Buddha. When the first thing that he says, he didn't say you are suffering. He says there is suffering. Suffering in terms of, maybe the word suffering, dukkha, is not, dukkha is not, it's very difficult, I think, to translate also. But when you just said there, you have so much potential, but not being able to live it is not satisfactory. If somebody finds their life 100% totally satisfactory, they're not going to make any changes. They're not going to try to make some transformation or whatever. And I think it's Geshe Tashu at one time, he said, like, having absolutely no satisfaction, also you cannot practice, never being satisfied, but also being satisfied all the time. He said, this is deadly. It's like for your Dharma practice, no point. When you just go like, yeah, but look, all the things I have and this and that. When we just look at the good things we have, it's nice. That's true, but it doesn't make us evolve in a way. Yeah. So when we look at this, when the Buddha said there is suffering, or there is not that much or life is unsatisfactory, our human existence, even if you live in Switzerland at the moment, I'm more or less in the mountains, it's really beautiful. I sent some pictures to Inbal. She said, I miss the mountains. So it's true, to live in a beautiful environment like this, especially at the beginning, because I used to live in the city in Bern, which is also nice, but still living here is like, it does something to your mind. You just look at the scenery and you get happy. But then what? I still have anger if that person would turn up that I have a problem with, and all the rest. So then it can't really do that much for us. So there's suffering. Can we agree with what the Buddha said, First Noble Truth, that yes, there is suffering? Or do you think that he's kind of, he's not right? What is he talking about? I'm not suffering. Okay, if you're not suffering, fine, wonderful, I rejoice. But what about all the others? We can definitely see that many people are suffering, not so much just from suffering of pain, like very gross suffering, but also suffering like mental suffering of uncertainty, especially now. We never know what's going to happen. Suffering of kind of being anxious, suffering of being depressed, these kinds of sufferings, even though outside everything is fine, but still this is happening. You might have discovered that in yourself also at one point. Yeah. And when he says that the cause for this is our unhelpful emotions or attitudes, and he talks about wrong use, which is like holding ourselves as most dear, like seeing ourselves as the center of the universe and always me first and then the others. Again, don't take it black and white. At one point it is true. If you think me first so that I can be of benefit to others, that is necessary. Because just only others and you nothing, you're going to burn out and it's not going to help either. So I think with Buddhism, this is a little bit of a problem. There's nothing that is black and white. You always have to look at the situation. Yeah. So the attitude of I want to be well because I want to be of benefit to others, that's a good one. But I just want to be happy and well just because of me, that would be that's not so helpful, because then we harm others and we don't care about others. And then out of that, of course, comes attachment, aversion, greed, miserliness, jealousy, and all the other stuff that if we could give it away, we wouldn't want it. So that's the second noble truth, that suffering has causes. So if suffering has causes means we can end it. Then the third noble truth, and this is a bit more difficult for us to recognize, is true. It's possible to to eliminate all these unhelpful emotions, because wrong views can be exchanged with right views. And, you know, if you are part of the Dharma Friends, every Sunday evening, since a year and a half or even longer, now also quite a lot of weekends, Geshe Dorje Damdru, he's talking about reality, he's talking about emptiness. Geshe-ma is talking since the pandemic started about emptiness. So, I mean, yeah, so this is our wrong views of inherent existence can be exchanged with right views of dependent arising and emptiness. And then all the other negative emotions or unhelpful emotions will be taken care of. But this one is difficult for us to really trust, yeah? And then the fourth noble truth is, of course, is the past. So it's all these different methods that we use, and we need to know which method to apply at what point. So taking these 8 Mahayana precepts or these vows for 24 hours is one of the methods that the Buddha has given us, because it's, you know, taking vows and then breaking them is really not helpful. Then it's better not to take vows, yeah? But also, a vow is only broken. So don't go, you know, don't now kind of, you know, shut down the computer and go like, oh, no, thank you. This is too dangerous. Because that's what many people do when it comes down to bodhisattva vows and tantric vows, that they say, oh, I won't be able to keep them. We are taking them to train the mind so that the mind then keeps them spontaneously. Like, for example, the vow of not killing voluntarily. I think none of us has a problem keeping that vow. The vow of not stealing voluntarily, you know, planning it, I think none of us has a problem taking that vow. The vow of, what's the other one of the body? The vow of no sexual misconduct. It's another one that none of us should be, you know, should have problems in keeping it. So that means we have subdued our body. So because these are bodily actions. So the same way as we have subdued our body and other people haven't, we can see that some people go around and rape whatever comes in their way. We can see that people go around and kill. We can see that people go around and take whatever is not given. So they haven't subdued their bodies. But because we have no problem taking these vows, so then, so it means we have been training that before. So that means that also for the other vows, we take them as a training. And as I said, or I haven't said yet, a vow is only broken if you know what you're doing, you're very conscious, you kind of, even you know what you're doing, you continue to do it, and then you're very happy and you think, okay, good thing I did it, because these vows, taking these vows is something really stupid. So then a vow is broken. If we do it like, you know, under the control of very strong negative emotions, maybe we're able to stop before we complete the action. At the end, we think like, oh no, why did I do this? This already weakens the tendency we have to do to break these vows. So it's a training. And there's a way to purify the broken vows also with the 4 opponent powers. Is it all clear until now? Because then, can you give me the co-host, Inbal, so I can share the screen? So then, because we're going to look at the vows, so the thing is, you know, they're Buddhist vows. So the Buddha, the Buddhist day starts when it starts to get light in the morning. Now the Jewish day starts in the evening. So one of these vows is only to have 1 meal a day, which of course then would be lunch, okay? So, but because we take them in the evening, we start because of Yom Kippur, we think it's a very powerful day, it's very good to take vows, so we started there to manipulate it a bit. We take them in the evening, and then that means you have the night where you don't eat, you can drink, of course. You have the night where you don't eat, then you eat breakfast, if possible, you know, not such a big one, because it's also against attachment, but just if you really need, then there's no lunch. And then when the 3 stars are out, then you can have dinner. So we kind of try to adjust it a little bit in that way. Of course, you can do the Jewish fast, totally, the Yom Kippur fast, where you think, okay, I'm not going to eat and drink until tomorrow evening. Of course, there's absolutely, there's definitely more merit if you do like this. If you used to do it, I always encourage people to follow their own tradition and do that, because I think it's a good thing to do. And or you can just think, maybe I drink, but I won't eat. So again, I leave it up to you, but be very clear now how you want to do and how you want to take these vows. You decide, and then you keep whatever you said you would keep. Okay, so usually, the eating and drinking, this is usually the big thing for us. Can you see the text? I think so. Yeah. Yes. Okay, great. So it's also in the Pali tradition, they also take these vows, especially full moon and new moon. But they're not then the Mahayana precepts, although the vows are the same. But we call them Mahayana precepts, as I said, because we take them with bodhicitta, if possible. So not just for ourselves. Okay, so they're taken for 24 hours. I would say you take them until tomorrow, the fast is broken, or same time now. I don't know. What time is it finished with the fast tomorrow? Meanwhile, do you know? Because you are usually doing the Jewish fast, isn't it?
I'm doing it, but I didn't know when it's finished.
Okay, so anybody, you will know, you will get to know when it's finished. So we do like this. When the Jewish fast is finished, then also these 8 vows, 1925, okay. That's good, so we still have quite a bit of time. Okay, so can be taken any day of the year, but their karmic effects are particularly powerful on merit multiplying days. I suppose in the Jewish calendar, it would be, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, other very powerful days. Why are they powerful? Because many people practice. And it's, there is something in the air or in the energy. And as you can see, I left the center in Bern and I'm here alone in that small studio. I feel very comfortable. But yesterday I did Tara Puja alone. I felt very weird, I have to say, because I'm used to do things with other people, and it's definitely more powerful when we do it with other people. So here it says, of course, the 8 Mahayana precepts are taken from early morning, but here we take them now until tomorrow evening. And so the precepts are, do not kill any sentient being, even an insect. Again, I mean, on purpose, like you plan it, you go and you go tack, and there's absolutely no regret about this. Of course, it's a problem, for example, if you have pets and they come home with ticks, and you shouldn't really leave them. I don't know, you have ticks in Israel? Because around here, there's lots of them. When the cats and the dogs come home with them, these little things that suck the blood. So then again, people ask me, am I allowed then to kill the tick? No, you're not, because you took a precept not to kill. So there's nobody can give you the permission, but at least if you have to do it, then just don't use it like with the excuse, but yeah, I'm doing it for my dog. Know that you are killing a being. So like this, so that could be a problem. But also with the mosquitoes, put on repellent or put yourself under a net or something. Don't go around killing them, please. Then do not steal, that is, do not take what has not been given. So if you're staying with other people, and there is a common agreement that you can take whatever you want to take, and from the fridge or in the shower room or whatever, so that's fine. But if you, in your own mind, you have the slightest doubt, like, for example, your friend has this beautiful perfume, which you shouldn't put on that day anyway. And you think like, oh, it's the occasion to take some of it. I want to try it out. But that your friend would not be happy if she sees you doing that, then it goes into stealing. Yeah, so Then sexual activity, that is also not even with yourself. So that includes masturbation, things like that. Sexual thoughts, of course, it's possible that you have them, but it's not a sexual act, it's just thoughts. Still, don't go and watch porno movies or whatever. That's not really helpful that day. I think, it's obvious. Then do not tell lies. So when we are in Nesamim and we're in the group, usually the day is in silence. So that's very good because then it's no problem. Then we're not telling lies. Do not take intoxicants, including alcohol, drugs, and tobacco. So it's a good way of thinking, okay, just 24 hours. Maybe I can be, if you want to give up smoking, maybe I can be without smoking for 24 hours, because taking vows gives us much more strength to go against habits and tendencies that we want to change. Do not eat food at the wrong time, that is like in the afternoon. So as I said, now tonight you're not eating anymore, then you can have breakfast tomorrow if you need, and then you eat again in the evening. So again, we manipulate it a bit. Then do not sit in large and high seats and beds with arrogance and pride. So this one is one vow that I think we can definitely keep. Do not wear perfume, garlands, ornaments, and do not sing, dance, and so forth. So this goes for any, futile entertainment, watching movies and things like that. So, so this is, again, if you do watch movies, then watch your mind. Why am I watching this movie now? Is it just because it feels pleasant? Is it because I feel bored? Could I maybe do something different? Could I maybe just sit down and be aware of my pull towards wanting to watch the movie, and whatever. You can really use this day in I think better way than just to watch movies. And anyway, tomorrow will be on most of the day with reflections on loving kindness and generating a good heart and forgiving and all this. So you will have things to do in case you feel bored, something that has to do with the day. Then, so Lama Zopa Rinpoche, some of you might know him, he's very, very strict. So he even says, according to Lama Zopa Rinpoche, milk and other drinks, such as fruit juice with pulp that produce excrement, should be avoided. So Rinpoche advises that it is best to, he advises, that it's best to be strict and if possible to avoid adding milk to drinks. So that, of course, that goes for like oat milk and rice milk and anything like this, because it's considered food. If you need to add it, make sure that it's not half-half, half milk and half water, then just add as little as possible. And again, if you put in, like me, sometimes I kind of almost by accident, I put in a bit more. At least see what you're doing, that you're only cheating yourself in a way, yeah? It's fine to take honey, sugar, candies that melt in the mouth, even afternoon. Okay, so why we are taking the vows is like we are taking vows in order to purify negative karma that we have already created. Like karma that is as seeds, imprints, tendencies, is lying on our mental consciousness. And at one point when the conditions come, it will ripen. So that is one. So that is one of the reasons why we take it. The other one is also to create compassion. It's like to create compassion for people who, especially if you do the full fast, then you know how it feels to be thirsty. Yeah, you know how it feels to be hungry. I think if you don't drink, the hunger really goes to the background. It's really the thirst, from my experience, because we have a similar practice where we also don't drink and don't eat, like in the Buddhist tradition. And so we generate compassion for beings who have to live under such conditions like all the time. Like I'm talking about hungry ghosts, or even on this planet, beings in the desert, or when there's no drinking water, where there's no food, and so on. So we generate compassion for them. And if you are a Buddhist, you remember the lower rebirth in the lower states, where there, you can be reborn as hell being, where there is a lot of pain. You can be reborn with no help. This is the thing. You can be reborn as hungry ghost, where there's never anything to drink and never anything to eat. So then, you know, this wish and this decision, I don't want to be reborn there, because not just because I don't want to suffer, but because how can I be of benefit to others? How can I progress on this path to full liberation and full awakening if I'm reborn in the lower states? Yeah, so these are the reasons. Like, we purify negative karma, we understand what it means to suffering, so we don't want to be reborn in the lower states. And also we generate compassion for beings who are reborn in these lower states. Okay, I think for the preparation of taking the vows, you know, taking the vows, and then you say, maybe we should look at the ritual a little bit. So, you know, there's things, if you have never done it, that you probably don't understand. It doesn't matter so much. But is, of course, we always want to understand everything. So this is like taking refuge and then generating bodhicitta. Of course, if you're not a Buddhist, if you don't consider yourself a Buddhist, it's a bit tricky to take, you know, refuge in the Buddha, in the Guru, the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. But then, you know, look for, where is my refuge? Which method do I trust that it leads me to lasting happiness? You know, this is basically taking refuge. Methods that are coming from the object of refuge, in this case, the Guru and the Buddha, and that I do trust, and that will lead me to lasting happiness. Do I believe that there is a state of lasting happiness? Do I have to trust that I can be totally free of being under the control of my unhelpful emotions? So we have to work with this when we take refuge. Otherwise, it just becomes blind faith. You know, a lot of it has to come from your side, has to come from your part when you take refuge. And of course, taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, it implies that you know what they say, what it is. You need to know your object of refuge. And this is, you know, with the Dharma friends, you have Yakila or Karzam, who is really teaching you every Friday this wonderful path, the graduated path to enlightenment, where you learn about all these things. Is this your side or is it my side, the ambulance? It's probably my side, because you're all muted. Okay, so then this is bodhicitta. Yeah, it's like the wish to attain full awakening in order to be able to benefit all sentient beings. Not just because I'm so noble, but we become aware of how dependent we are on others in every hour, like billions and trillions of lifetimes we have, and we want to repay that kindness, meaning inspiring them, leading them, also giving them methods so that they can attain the state of full enlightenment. And so this is this. Then purifying the place, we become aware that what we see is not exactly the way that it exists. So then we purify it into emptiness, let it arise as a pure lamp. So we train the mind to understand what I see appears, but is not true. This is this step. So this whole thing is like, psychologically, if you know Buddhism, it's really, really clever. The way we make, you know, neuroscience, we make new connections in the brain. Neuroplasticity, this is exactly what we do with these visualizations. Yeah, so it's very clever. So then we invite the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas to come to this place. So their energy, again, a Buddha is always there. There's no numberless Buddhas around us all the time. We just don't perceive them. But they attain enlightenment in order to benefit sentient beings. So what do you think? They're not here? So they're always here. We just can't see them because that's their promise they made with bodhicitta. I mean, this is the promise we are making for the benefit of all sentient beings. So they're always here. So when we invite them, we become aware of them, that we are never alone. So that's this step here. Then we do an offering prayer. It makes the mind very joyful, very happy, creates a lot of positive energy. Like we fill the whole space with visualized offerings, with the confidence that the Buddhas can receive them because their minds are all pervading. Then in order to increase the offerings, we do this mantra 3 times by being aware that I who is making the offerings themselves Everything is empty of any inherent existence. Yeah, so it's like the 3 circles or the 3 spheres of emptiness. Some of you might have heard it. Again, you know, just to remind ourselves again and again and again. The offerings, the Buddhas, okay, they appear, they have a function, but by nature, totally free of any inherent existence. But and then it increases the offerings that we are making. Then the power of truth, again, it fortifies or strengthens our confidence in the Buddha's methods that the Guru has been given to us. So, you know, if you think that this is spooky and you don't want to say this, then you don't say it. It's fine. Yeah, as I said, you can just be here out of curiosity, or you can do it out of curiosity. You can do it with bodhicitta. Of course, that becomes the most powerful. Then 7-limb prayer, again, we could just teach, you know, a whole weekend on this. Is very powerful. Purifies negative karma, creates a lot of merit if our mind is really there, because it goes against different negative mind states. Prostration is like it goes against arrogance, that we can do it alone. And it kind of produces appreciation and joy in the mind, that we have trust in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha, presenting, you know, making offerings, goes against miserliness, confess all my negative actions and downfalls collected from beginningless time, goes against guilt and shame, which we will talk about tomorrow. Then I rejoice, that goes against jealousy, when we see that other people are better and happier than we are. And then please remain until the end of cyclic existence, turn the wheel of Dharma for transmigratory beings. That will make it, that will create the karma in us, so that we meet the Dharma every lifetime and the perfect Guru, so that we can attain enlightenment, and also it purifies the negativities we have created with these objects, like the Guru and the Dharma. And then I did the dedication, we affirm to ourselves why we are doing all this. Then mandala offering, then it's a bit spooky, or it's a bit strange. We think we're offering a perfect universe where there's no more suffering and everybody can enjoy this pure land. So that again, it just strengthens or nourishes our confidence that it is possible, because otherwise, you know, we're chasing it after something that we don't even believe in. So of course it will not happen. Then we give away everything that prevents us from being able to create pure land, or to manifest the pure land. Then the actual ritual. So it's a few prostrations. I know with the prostrations also for some of you, big problem, because, you know, it's very strong in your mind. Prostrating before an idol is a negative. If you have this, please do not prostrate, you know. If you feel like you want to prostrate, you do. I will not be prostrating with my body. As you can see, you know, I have a cast, so there's no way. I can't tilt the hand, so I wouldn't be able to push myself up. So I will not be prostrating. I'll just keep sitting. You kneel on your right knee. If you can kneel on your right knee, then you do. If you cannot, then okay. You know, then here, this one maybe we leave out. And then, so is the taking the precepts after the 3 prostrations, you kneel on your right knee. And then we say all these things, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas telling the 10 directions, please pay attention to me. We'll go quite slowly. And so here it just says, you know, as the previous Tathagatas, Arhats, perfectly completed Buddhas, that means everybody who has become a Buddha has taken vows. So why should not I not? Then the divine horse and the great elephant are 2 kind of mystic animals in the whole thing of Tibetan Buddhism. So why did they take vows? In order to lay down the burden of the 5 contaminated aggregates, subsequently attained their own welfare, meaning their own liberation, completely exhausted the fetters to existence, and had perfect speech, well-liberated minds, well-liberated wisdom. That's all the Buddhas, yeah. For the welfare of all sentient beings, in order to benefit, in order to liberate, in order to eliminate famine, in order to eliminate war, in order to stop the harm of the 4 elements. You can even include in order to stop pandemics if you want, in order to eliminate sickness and pandemics. And in order to fully complete the 37 practices harmonious with enlightenment, and in order to definitely actualize the unsurpassed result of perfect, complete enlightenment, perfectly performed the restoring and purifying ordination, meaning because they wanted all this and they have achieved all this, they took these vows. And then you say, in the same way, also I, who am called, from this time until sunrise tomorrow, for the welfare of all sentient beings, and so on. It's the same thing. Again, it says here, you affirm why you are taking these vows. Now, again, if you're not happy with this, then I don't know, then maybe you adjust it yourself. So when you think that, what is this thing here? So then it's a bit difficult. It's just a ritual so that we know exactly what we're doing and why we are taking these vows, that it has a long-term effect. Yeah, not just so that tomorrow you're hungry and thirsty. Okay, then the commitment to keep the prayers. So it says again, it repeats these 5 vows. I see there's 5 things in the chat. I'll have a look at it afterwards. Then from now on, I will not kill. From now on, that means from now on until tomorrow about the same time. I will not steal others' possessions, not engage in sexual activity, will not tell lies, avoid intoxicants, from which many mistakes arise. I will not sit large and high seats and beds, not eat food at wrong times. I will avoid perfumes, garlands, ornaments, as well as dancing, singing, and so forth. So forth means all other entertainment, just as the arhats never kill, and so forth. So too will I abandon killing, and so forth. May I quickly attain supreme enlightenment. May I free this world disturbed by much suffering from the ocean of existence. Then there's a mantra we say with the visualization of Chenresik. I will show you the picture then, where light comes from his heart, entering our body, and it purifies all the broken vows from the past, even we don't remember, from past lives. If you say, but I've never took vows, the Buddhists would say that you have taken vows in previous lifetimes, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting there. So that's one thing. It purifies all the broken vows from previous lifetimes and this life. It enables us to keep the vows purely, gives us the strength and the awareness. And of course, always, that's something we need. You receive the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I think it was Chador Rinpoche when he taught about the 2 truths, I think, for the Russians, and Yaki was translating. And he said, somebody asked, how can you realize emptiness? And the first thing he said, you need the blessings of the Guru and the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. How can we receive the blessings when we have trust in them and we allow and we visualize this light coming into us and giving us these blessings? Again, we have to do most of the part. So it's like, they say it's like radio waves. If your radio is not on, then you can't hear anything. So, but the waves are always there, or like internet also, Wi-Fi. The waves are always there everywhere by now. But if there's no device on, then you won't receive anything. And then it's the prayer, keeping pure morality. And then we seal it with emptiness. And then we do this prayer. It's also the very nice dedication prayer that most of you know. And then here are the benefits. So the benefits of abandoning killing. Your life will be long, magnificent, and free from illness. Then of abandoning stealing in this life and all future lives, you will have perfect enjoyments. Wealth, not just physical wealth, which is a good thing to have because we can share it with others. And I tell you, financial problems are not a good thing to have in this world. And others will not steal it. But it's not just material wealth, it's also especially spiritual wealth. Then the benefit of abandoning sexual activity, you will have a good body with a beautiful complexion and complete sense organs. And in this life and all future lives, you will not be cheated and others will listen to what you say. Oh, it's so frustrating, You're telling the truth and you want to help somebody, but they don't listen to you. It's because you don't have powerful speech, meaning we have negative karma from lying, ripening. Then abandoning intoxicants in this life and all future lives, you will have stable mindfulness, awareness, clear senses, and perfect wisdom. And come on, who wouldn't like to have this? and the benefits of, sitting with arrogance on large seats and beds. You will receive praise and respect from others. You will have proper bedding. Again, the praise and respect, it's nice when people respect us. And when we want to help them and guide them, they need to respect us. Otherwise, they don't do what we ask them or tell them to do. Praise, again, it makes other people happy when they praise you. It's not about you receiving praise. It's about the happiness of other people, because same as us, when we praise somebody sincerely, it's a happy mind, because we see the qualities of the other person and it brings up our own qualities. Also, then abandoning food in proper time, you will have abundant, perfect crops and will obtain food and drink without effort. Again, very nice. In this life of this is perfume, your body will have a pleasant smell, so we don't need these expensive things anymore. Color and shape and many auspicious marks. Again, it's not because of us, it's so that we become attractive to others. And singing and dancing, giving that up, the benefit, you will have a subdued body and mind, and your speech will continually make the sound of Dharma if somebody wants to hear it. Then if you have committed yourself, then, okay, what you do, you must protect these precepts with mindfulness and awareness. If through carelessness you generate any of the precepts, you should recite the mantra of pure morality 3 times to purify and restore it. I will put it in the chat. I will put the text in the chat, or I think it's on the website, isn't it? Yeah, so then you can download it from the website, where you have this mantra that you then, when you feel that you've broken one of the vows, then you recite this 21 times. Okay, so they come from doves here as well. I don't know what this is all about. What comes from doves? Bada, don't know. Then where can I download this document? On the page, but also, or maybe in Bal. Do you have it handy somewhere? Otherwise, I can put it. Yes, I can put it in the chat. Wait. The precepts. We can here we go. Yeah. And I will also put. That's the precept, and I put you a very nice text from Lama Zopa Rinpoche, which is called, I think, the Unmistaken Method, where you can then the benefit of these vows. So whoever wants to have them and keep them, it's in the chat now. So can I take the vows without fasting? Yeah, well, it would be good tomorrow just to have breakfast and then dinner. If you could leave out lunch, at least, leave out something, that would be okay. There's different views on this from the lamas. I know, again, Chadra Rinpoche, he says, no way. Either you take all 8 or you're not taking them. You just do as if you're taking them, but you're not really taking them. My teacher, Kiji Tsentra Rinpoche, he would have said, yeah, you can take 7 vows, you leave out the fasting. So I don't know, If you have a guru that you can ask, maybe ask that person so that you know. Please name the 4 opposing forces. Thank you. We did that last we did it when we did Vajrasattva. So, but the 4 opponent powers are regret. We're not happy about what we did. No guilt and shame, just regret. The next one is you take refuge and you generate bodhichitta. Like you want to do something about this. You have a method that you can trust. That's the second one. You apply the method. This is the power of the action. And then at the end, you make a strong determination not to repeat the action. Okay? These are the 4 opponent powers. I think, I talked quite at length about this. Okay. Are you ready? Then we can take the vows. Okay. So if you want to do 3 prostrations, if out of laziness you don't want to do them, then you should do them, because it's not helpful for you. Again, if you think, no, this goes against my values, I don't want to take them, absolutely fine. Yeah. So you can close your camera so nobody sees what you're doing. And if you see somebody prostrating and you go, but yeah, they're Jewish, they shouldn't be prostrating, it's none of your business. This is everybody else's business, what they are doing. So I just see we have 71 people who are taking vows. I mean, I'm really, really happy about this. Not because I think, oh, I'm so great, 71 people are taking vows, but this is the way to transform the world. People taking vows, so that we, at least 24 hours, we spend with an attitude of, at no way I want to harm others. And we spend it very mindfully. And in the evening, we're very happy, knowing that we haven't disturbed anybody's peace of mind. Yeah, so this is great. So please also be happy about this. Because, you know, practicing without joy, yeah, it's so boring. And I see Smadar is there as well. So if you want to know how to have joy in your practice, go and practice with Smadar. She is a very good example. And some other ones. Please don't feel offended. Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody, but I just think that Smadar is a perfect example. Okay, so we spend a few minutes. You know, it doesn't take, the ceremony doesn't take so long. We spend a few minutes, you yourself, on your own motivation. Very important, because the motivation is where it will take us. And if we just do things like la-di-la, a little bit, oh, don't really know, yeah, out of curiosity, yeah, it's fine, it's okay, but there's no big effect. Then you just intellectually know something more. If to your curiosity, you can say, well, it's so wonderful, I have this method, it's so wonderful, I can purify these negative imprints that I have created in the past. Because when we take these vows, the purification of negative karma will happen 24 hours. Imagine, it's like a washing machine. You put the dirty laundry in, you push the button, you take the precepts, and for 24 hours is washing. Isn't that wonderful? You know, it's such a simple method. And sometimes I don't understand, me, myself, sometimes included, you know, why we're not doing this more often. Yeah, only on the very powerful days. Okay, so you check, what is my motivation here? If you can have the highest, which is, wow, I want to get rid of my negative karma, not because I don't want to suffer, okay? But because I want to get rid of my tendencies to repeat these negative or unhelpful actions again and again and again and again. If you can have that attitude, that would be wonderful. And why? Because I want to inspire others, because I want to be of help to them instead of harming them, because nobody wants to be harmed. And harming others is not leading to any happiness. Maybe for myself, that I get what I want, but hey, it's perverse. We have to see our, you know, unhelpful kind of reactions and behavior as perverse. It's not in our nature to be like this. We feel much more natural when we act out of kindness, and kindness can be harsh. So we'll talk about this tomorrow. But if at least, you know, for the motivation, you can think, not just for myself, because I'm afraid of my negative karma ripening, but because I want to benefit to others. So here, of course, it talks about the guru. So if you do have a living guru, I don't want to do the vows, but want to do the retreat. Is it possible? Yeah, of course. You know, you just listen and you're not taking the vows. As I say, you do whatever you want to do. You can either leave now or you can just listen without taking the vows. Try not to create a negative attitude, because that's, for you, is not a good thing. It doesn't harm anybody else, but for you, it's not good. If you think, it's not what I want, it's fine. Then just, you know, leave. Because what comes after taking the precepts is just very short. You know, you yourself, you contemplate how you want to spend the day tomorrow. And then tomorrow will be pretty much unreligious until the last session, where we do Chinresik meditation and Tonglen. If you don't want to take the vows, it's fine. But again, maybe a suggestion from my side, why not? Because it's Buddhist. I told her you can take another object of refuge. vows is great protection. You know, nobody is kind of, it's not a restriction. It's actually the freedom to say no, the freedom not having to decide, shall I watch this movie now or shall I not watch this movie? It's no. And if you take vows regularly, you feel the effect very, very quickly. It does create space, it creates freedom, it creates happiness. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to go on a mission here. And I just did, sorry. But they have so much benefit. I mean, okay, so if you have a guru, so now I'm talking Buddhist, okay? So please don't feel offended. So if you have a guru, visualize that person in his or her human form, maybe even if he or she is not in this human form anymore and they left the body, but just visualize the guru and feel how the heart opens. Feel how there's joy and gratitude and devotion and respect. It's all attitudes that make us happy and spacious. You know, the nature of our mind is spaciousness. It's not this tight, tense kind of little I, me thing. And then, because we're taking the vows from the Buddha, we think the Guru is the Buddha. Because if it wouldn't be for the Guru, the living person, I mean, how many of us would have taken these precepts if we would have just read about them? Definitely not me. Without the Guru, for us, there is no Buddha except for maybe a statue in our garden. There would be definitely no Dharma and definitely no Sangha that we belong to. So this is why we can say these words with that kind of understanding. Yeah, it's okay to sleep on a regular bed. This is why I said, you know, anything regular is fine. You don't have to sleep on the floor. But if you have a bed that you're very proud of, then it's better not to sleep in that bed. But if you just think, thank you very much, these people who made this mattress, thank you so much to make that mattress so comfortable for my back. That's fine, that's gratitude, it's not arrogance. Okay, so we start by repeating these, by saying these things 3 times. The Guru is Buddha, the Guru is Dharma, the Guru is also Sangha. The Guru is the creator of all happiness. In all the Gurus, I take refuge. The Guru is Buddha, the Guru is Dharma, the Guru is also Sangha. The Guru is the creator of all happiness. In all the Gurus, I take refuge. The Guru is Buddha, the Guru is Dharma, the Guru is also Sangha. The Guru is the creator of all happiness. In all the Gurus, I take refuge. Then we think you can visualize all mother sentient beings. That's Bodhichitta. Taking these precepts so I can lead them all to the state which is totally free from all suffering and the causes of suffering. But how do you visualize all sentient beings? By thinking you take away all the walls, all the houses, you know, the walls of the houses, all the mountains, all the forests, everything that would obstruct the view, and the earth becomes flat. Then we see that we're never alone. We're constantly surrounded by numberless sentient beings, and not just humans, also the beings underneath the or in the earth, the ones in the air, the ones in the water, in the oceans. But then there's also beings in other dimensions, like hell beings, hungry ghosts, the bardo beings, the ones who have died, who haven't taken rebirth yet, and the beings in the form and formless realm. When we think like this, you know, what it does, we don't need to make a decision. Who do I want to lead to enlightenment and who not? So it's like everybody, because everybody has the potential. We think they're all there. And it's for all of them I'm taking these precepts. Wow, how wonderful. The heart opens spontaneously. What a good thing to do. So I will not harm them anymore, and I will be of help to them. I will have the capacities to do that. The wisdom, the compassion. With the thought desiring to liberate transmigratory beings, I always take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until the heart of enlightenment is achieved. With perseverance, acting with wisdom, compassion, and loving kindness in front of the Buddhas for the benefit of sentient beings, I generate the thought of full enlightenment. With perseverance, acting with wisdom, compassion, and loving kindness in front of the Buddhas for the benefit of sentient beings, I generate the thought of full enlightenment. With perseverance, acting with wisdom, compassion, and loving kindness in front of the Buddhas for the benefit of sentient beings, and generate the thought of full enlightenment. Then we become aware whatever we see appears, but does not exist at the way that it appears. And we dissolve everything into emptiness and think we're living in a pure land everywhere. May the ground be pure, free of pebbles and so forth, as level as the palm of the hand, and in the nature of Vaidurya and soft. Vaidurya is lapis lazuli. Then we think that although the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, their energy is always there, but for us to be present, we need to invite them. Savior of all sentient beings without exception, divine destroyer of the unbearable hordes of Maras and their forces, perfect knower of all things without exception, Bhagavan, together with your retinue, please come here. So then we think they're here and we make offerings. May divine and human offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated, become clouds of the finest amount of other offerings, filling the entire realm of space. So you can be very creative and really think, what do I want to offer all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas? And just visualize it. And with the confidence or the thought or the wisdom, knowing that I was making the offerings, they're just dependent arising. And because the Buddha's minds are everywhere, they receive them because they can see what I'm visualizing or what I put on my altar. So with the trust that I was making the offerings themselves, or the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who are receiving them, all three spheres, totally empty of any inherent existence, we recite this mantra 3 times in order to multiply them. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Pramatana Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tayata Om Vajema Vajema Tese Vajema Vidya Bodhichitta Vashe Bodhi Menda Pasakramana Vashe Sarva Karma Avarana Vishuddhana Vashe Soha. Om Namo Bhagavate Svajasara Pramatana Tathagataya Arate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tayata Om Vajema Tese Vajema Vidya Vajema Bodhichitta Vajema Bodhi Menda Pasakramana Vashe Sarva Karma Avarana Vishuddhana Vashe Soha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Pramatana Tathagataya Arate Samyak Sambuddhaya Kayata Om Vajema Tese Vajema Vidya Bodhichitta Vajema Bodhi Menda Pasakramana Sarva Karma Avarana Vishuddhana Vashe Soha. I think I forget the Vajra here. Anyway. So then the power of truth to strengthen our trust that this really works. You see, it's all placebo in a way, but we need to have to trust that it works because placebo works. It's all depending on our own mind, our trust, because it's our mind who is creating the negative karma and it's our mind who is eliminating it. So that's how it works. So by the power of truth of the 3 rare sublime ones, the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the great wealth of the completed 2 types of merits, and the pure and inconceivable sphere of phenomena, may these piles of clouds of offerings arising through transformation by the Bodhisattvas, Arya Samantabhadra, Manjushri, and so forth, unimaginable and inexhaustible, equaling the sky, arise, and in the presence of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, be received. I think doing this once is okay. That's probably a mistake here. Or maybe it's new. You know, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, he keeps adding and adding and adding. So let's think it's a mistake and we just do it once. Then the 7-limb prayer. I prostrate reverently with my body, speech, and mind. You can see that it's a new text because before it was reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. So we never get bored with these new texts. I present clouds of every type of offering, both actually arranged and mentally emanated. Then be very creative. Even you can't visualize, just think, oh, everything that exists, I offer to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of highest quality, most beautiful and exquisite. You know, some people say, oh, I can't visualize. Visualize, I don't know, you know, shopping mall. When nothing harmful inside, you know, an organically grown shopping mall with absolutely no meat, when nobody had to suffer to produce these things. Fields of flowers, like in Inbal's area there. Beautifully arranged, like they did for the New Year. And just offer it out of gratitude, out of appreciation. I confess all my negative actions and downfalls collected from beginningless time. So, you know, the 4 opponent powers, whatever I did that is not helpful, not skillful, I regret. Shouldn't have done it. I want to purify it, and I will be more careful in the future, and I will not hide it, and I will not use excuses why I did it, so I can transform. And then I can live my values very naturally, very spontaneously. Then I rejoice in the virtues of ordinary beings, which are us, taking these precepts. And I was just about to say, many other beings taking precepts. I usually say that on full moon and new moon day and on the Buddhist days. I don't know if many other beings are taking it for Yom Kippur. But many other beings are doing good things on Yom Kippur or think about their behavior. Don't think about these people that you think are hypocrites and all this. Leave them aside. It's okay. But there's so many others who really, really, you know, make strong decisions to change. But then we also rejoice in the virtues of Aryas, beings who have, you know, who are very far advanced on this path. Then please remain until the end of cyclic existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for transmigratory beings. So again, we need to ask for teachings, otherwise the Buddhas will not give them. There's no point teaching somebody something that they don't want. It is why, you know, I try always to stress it's your responsibility. Nobody wants to force anything on you. I dedicate my own and others' virtues to the great enlightenment. And we offer perfect universe. Again, you visualize, how does it look? Perfect universe, where no, not even the word suffering exists. This ground anointed with perfumes, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine as a Buddha land and offer it. May all transmigratory beings enjoy this pure land, and then without any fear of losing something desirable, this next verse here. The object of my attachment, anger and ignorance, friends, enemies, strangers, body and enjoyments, without any sense of loss I offer them. Please kindly accept and bless me to pacify the 3 poisons in dependence on their own objects. Idam guru ranna mandalakam niryatayami. Okay, so then again, if you can, you do 3 prostrations. You can just do like this if you want, you know. And you visualize your body and all your bodies from all previous lives prostrating. It's a sign of respect. Then if you can, you kneel on your right knee with your hands together in the mudra prostration like this. And maybe to inspire us, we can say this. It's somebody that Lama Zopa Rinpoche added. Though you offer service with a calm mind to 100 billion times 10 million Buddhas, with food and drink, umbrellas, flags, and garlands of light offerings for 10 million eons, equaling the number of sand grains in the Pacific Ocean, the merit of someone enjoying living in one vow for one day and night, when the holy Dharma is degenerating and the teachings of the one gone to bliss are ceasing, is particularly more exalted than that. So there you see the power of taking these precepts. Okay. So in general, if His Holiness the Dalai Lama is giving precepts or Lama Zopa Rinpoche, then it's good to take them. You take the precepts from them, because with them it's easy to visualize and think that they are Buddhas. Otherwise, you just visualize the Buddha. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then if at one point you have the occasion to take these 8 Mahayana precepts, which definitely are given online by these high beings, then it's good to take them from them so that you got the lineage. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dwelling in the 10 directions, please pay attention to me. Just as the previous Tathagatas, Arhats, perfectly completed Buddhas, who, like the divine wise horse and the great elephant, did what had to be done, performed actions, laid down the burden, subsequently attained their own welfare, completely exhausted the fetters to existence, had perfect speech, well-liberated minds, and well-liberated wisdom, for the welfare of all sentient beings, in order to benefit, in order to liberate, in order to eliminate famine, in order to eliminate war, in order to stop the harm of the 4 elements, in order to eliminate sickness and pandemics, in order to fully complete the 37 practices harmonious with enlightenment, and in order to definitely actualize the unsurpassed result of perfect complete enlightenment, perfectly performed the restoring and purifying ordination, which is taking these vows. Oops. Similarly, also I who am called, then you say your name, from this time until evening tomorrow, for the welfare of all sentient beings, in order to benefit, in order to liberate, in order to eliminate famine, in order to eliminate war, in order to stop the harm of the 4 elements, in order to eliminate sickness, in order to fully complete the 37 practices harmonious with enlightenment, and in order to definitely actualize the unsurpassed result of perfect complete enlightenment, will perfectly undertake the restoring and purifying ordination. So we say 2 more times, and it's after the 3rd time that you think you have received precepts. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dwelling in the 10 directions, please pay attention to me. Just as the previous Tathagatas, Arhats, perfectly completed Buddhas, who, like the divine wise horse and the great elephant, did what had to be done, performed actions, laid down the burden, subsequently attained their own welfare, completely exhausted the fetters to existence, had perfect speech, well-liberated minds, and well-liberated wisdom, for the welfare of all sentient beings, in order to benefit, in order to liberate, in order to eliminate famine, in order to eliminate war, in order to stop the harm of the 4 elements, in order to eliminate sickness and pandemics, in order to fully complete the 37 practices harmonious with enlightenment, and in order to definitely actualize the unsurpassed result of perfect complete enlightenment, perfectly performed the restoring and purifying ordination. Similarly, also I am called from this time until sunrise tomorrow, for the welfare of all sentient beings, in order to benefit, in order to liberate, in order to eliminate famine, in order to eliminate war, in order to stop the harm of the 4 elements, in order to eliminate sickness and pandemics, in order to fully complete the 37 practices harmonious with enlightenment, and in order to definitely actualize the unsurpassed result of perfect complete enlightenment, will perfectly undertake the restoring and purifying ordination. Then the 3rd time, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dwelling in the 10 directions, please pay attention to me. Just as the previous Tathagatas, Arhats, perfectly completed Buddhas who, like the divine wise horse and the great elephant, did what had to be done, performed actions, laid down the burden, subsequently attained their own welfare, completely exhausted the fetters to existence, had perfect speech, well-liberated minds, and well-liberated wisdom, for the welfare of all sentient beings, in order to benefit, in order to liberate, in order to eliminate famine, in order to eliminate war, in order to stop the harm of the four elements, in order to eliminate sickness, in order to fully complete the 37 practices harmonious with enlightenment, and in order to definitely actualize the unsurpassed result of perfect complete enlightenment, perfectly performed the restoring and purifying ordination. Similarly, also I, who am called from this time until sunrise tomorrow for the welfare of all sentient beings, in order to benefit, in order to liberate, in order to eliminate famine, in order to eliminate war, in order to stop the harm of the four elements, in order to eliminate sickness, in order to fully complete the 37 practices harmonious with enlightenment, and in order to definitely actualize the unsurpassed result of perfect complete enlightenment, will perfectly undertake the restoring and purifying ordination. I think you have received the vows in your continuum and you rejoice. And now as we're saying this prayer, now you need to decide from your own side, not about the killing and the sexual activity, but about the eating. You know, whether you want to do the full fast with no drinking, no eating. So you will say, I will at no times eat and drink. If you want to do the Buddhist fast, I will not eat food at the wrong times, and so on. From now on, I will not kill and will not steal others' possessions. I will not engage in sexual activity, will not tell lies. I will avoid intoxicants from which many mistakes arise. I will not sit on large and high seats and beds. I will not eat food at the wrong times, or you decide what you want to do. I will avoid perfumes, garlands, and ornaments, as well as dancing, singing, and any other entertainment, and so forth. Just as Arhats never kill and so forth, so too will I abandon killing and so forth. May I quickly attain supreme enlightenment. May I free this world disturbed by much suffering from the ocean of existence. So now we recite this mantra 21 times together. I have to go. Okay, so you visualize Chenresig. I can just close my camera. And then, oh, it's a bit small, isn't it? So that's Chenresig, but I need to show you the text. So anyway, just think, you know, the Buddha of compassion that sends light from his heart, entering your body and purifying like that all the negative karma we have created. You know, that would result in results that we don't want, and especially in tendencies are getting purified, and it gives us the strength, the awareness, the mindfulness to be able to keep these vows purely without too many problems and kind of temptations. Om Amogashila Sambara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Viduchite Chutbochanara Dara Samanta Avalokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Sambara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Viduchite Buchanara Samanta Avalokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Bara bara ma shuddha satopema vibhushite buchanara dara samanta avalokite om peso om amogashila samara bara bara ma shuddha satopema vibhushite buchanara samanta avalokite om peso om amogashila samara bara bara ma shuddha satopema vibhushite buchanara Samanta Varokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchan Samanta Varokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchan Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Bucha Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Bucha Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Dara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Bara 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 Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Dara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Dara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Bara Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Dara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Dara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Dara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Bara 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 Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Dara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Samara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Samantavarokite Om Peso Om Amogashila Sambara Bara Bara Ma Shuddha Satopema Vibhushite Buchanara Dara Samantavarokite Om Peso. By abiding in faultless morality of the Dharma rules, complete pure morality and morality free from conceit, this is very important. We're not looking at others. We're just very happy that we have taken the precepts. Whatever others do, this is their business. If you can stop them from doing negativities, fine. But if you don't, what's the point of getting angry? Just try to have compassion. See them as already potential victims in the future. So then by doing all this, may I complete the perfection of morality. If you don't like the word morality, you can use ethics or skillful conduct or whatever. Okay, then we think this is my contribution to the peace and happiness of all sentient beings, and in particular to the peace and happiness of all sentient beings in this world. Then we seal it with emptiness. Due to all the past, present, and future merits collected by me and all the merits of the 3 times collected by the numberless Buddhas and numberless sentient beings, which are completely empty of existing from their own side. May I, who am completely empty of existing from my own side, achieve Buddhahood, which is completely empty of existing from its own side, lead all sentient beings who are completely empty of existing from their own side to that Buddhahood, which is completely empty of existing from its own side, by myself alone, who am completely empty of existing from my own side. Okay. Then may all beings everywhere plagued by sufferings of body and mind obtain a notion of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature ever suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power and may people think of benefiting each other. And the promise of the Bodhisattva, as long as space remains, as long as transmigratory beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the suffering of transmigratory beings. Okay, so thank you very much. So what we do now for just 15 minutes, because I told Inbal we'll be finished at 6:45, so it's okay, because anyway, I will not be saying much anymore. But it would be nice if you stay another 15 minutes and you reflect on your own decisions or on, how you want to spend the day tomorrow. And I suggest that you make a list. If you can, you take a piece of paper and a pen, and especially the things you want to abstain from, because it's vows and it's about abstaining. It's not so much doing. So then you put it down on a piece of paper, and we all know from neuroscience, if we have very clear decisions in our mind and we even, write them down, it is so powerful. Or you tell somebody, but since many of you might be alone, so that's very powerful to be able to keep these decisions, and then we don't have to be disappointed and we don't have to get angry. If you have questions, though, you can ask. Or otherwise, you can, it's just it's a silent reflection, basically. 10 minutes will be great. Yeah, if you need to go, it's fine. Again, this will be your job that you are doing. I'm not suggesting anything. I will write down what I want to abstain from, and you write down what you want to abstain from. So it's really always very good to imagine first the person that you would like to be, without any kind of, but it's difficult and I can't be like this and this is terrible, blah, blah. But just really know what you want. And also, be realistic. Be realistic. If you're a chatterbox like me and you live with your family or with your girlfriend, like Nitzan and Delila, I see, are sitting there, and then, you go like, I'll be in total silence, I will not say anything. And you know exactly you won't be able to keep it. No, don't take this thing. But when you say, I will be mindful before I open my mouth and say something kind, that would be, that's a suggestion I can do to say. And whatever tendencies you would like to get rid of, try to put it down. Really know. This is so helpful. If you don't want to write it down, that's fine. Just imagine how you want to spend the day tomorrow. If you use computers, mobiles, tablets, in what way do you want to use them? If you will eat and drink, how? Another suggestion, if you eat and drink, before you eat and drink, think about people who are fasting and rejoice with them that they are fasting, instead of thinking it's a stupid thing. I tell you, it's a very good thing. Not just for the body, but definitely for the mind, because the mind becomes much lighter, much clearer, much more spacious. But don't be, if you're the one who is fasting, don't be proud. Don't become arrogant. Don't look down on others. Just be happy that you have the strength and the health also to be able to fast. Okay, so I have to start writing also. I was just thinking, you know, maybe I should sign. Because it's a bit like a contract. We all know if we sign a contract, it's much easier to kind of to keep it than if we just make no decision or a decision. It's good to feel bound by these vows, but to feel bound in a way, not as a restriction, but as a way to give you the freedom of saying no to things that we know from the beginning they're not helpful for attaining enlightenment or for becoming the person I want to be. It will be so simple tomorrow, so easy. Easy, maybe not so much. But it helps our mindfulness, our awareness. And in the evening, we will be able to rejoice. And there may be also, you know, think about the strategy that if you think like, oh, I can't do it anymore, then where will you take refuge? Will it just be distraction? Will it be a thinking about the future result? You know, maybe you all know this little movie with the kids that they were giving one marshmallow or one sweet, and then they were being left alone and told, you know, if you don't eat it, you will get another one. But you can also eat it now if you want to eat it now, but you won't get another one. And we can see with the kids, it works. We keep forgetting the future. Our plans are very, very, very short term, just for the physical comfort now. Just for the mental distraction now. We don't think about the consequences. And I'm very, you know, very consciously say we, because I include myself in this. So I'm happy I have to say this from time to time. So then I remember. Or maybe another strategy is to take refuge in your object of refuge, like the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Please help. To visualize a Buddha, but not a Buddha as something separate from your mind, but the form of a Buddha, either Chenrezig or Tara, or Shakyamuni Buddha as, you know, the result of this practice. to remember they also did this. They also took these precepts. They did survive. So then also write down your strategies, because when it's kind of getting really hot in the mind with desire, we forget, we just give in. Another strategy could be like short term, that especially with food and drink, that you think whatever I'm not putting in my body, somebody else will be able to enjoy it. And be it, even if it's insects, ants or slugs or whatever I'm not putting in my body during that time now will not turn into pee-pee caca. How wonderful. Mother Earth doesn't have to produce so much. And again, when we think like this, please don't become arrogant. Please don't look down on others who don't have these values, who are not careful. Or one strategy could be, I can use it as my practice of mindfulness. That tomorrow we will train a bit to look at difficult emotions and to stay with them. To recognize their nature as being impermanent, empty. Not I, not me. We never have any strong emotions, strong desire. When will we be able to recognize it? And now, as being humans, we have the methods to study them, to transform them. The human intelligence to understand how they create suffering. So that's another strategy, to welcome them instead of being afraid of them. It's just a few suggestions. And then to end it completely, you can do your own dedication also. So that it makes sense to take vows. Of course, the Bodhichitta dedication we already did. But maybe that's not what you want. It's fine. We can, for example, think about people who are sick, people who have died or are dying. I dedicate all the positive energy that comes from this for their well-being already now. We're doing this for somebody else. It can be one person, many people, it can be animals. Or for yourself, it's fine also. But if you can, I'm doing this for myself, dedicating it so that I can become the person I want to be, but in order to benefit others. Okay. Thank you very much. There's another comment here. Thank you so much. Oh, you're very, very welcome. Thank you so much, everybody, for having participated. There's another ambulance or something here. See, quiet Switzerland is full of ambulances twice during this 1.5 hours. Okay, so thank you very much. So in Bali, you said that there will be, I don't know, is it going to be on Zoom, the Medicine Buddha practice, or not?
Yes, it will be in the Zoom. I don't think it's in the Dharma Friends, it's in the friend of, it's in the WhatsApp.
It's in Hebrew.
יש תרגול של מדיסין בודה, אבל זה יהיה בזום של חגית שלך, אז אני לא יודעת, היא שלחה את זה בוואטסאפ של ידי הדרמה, אז מישהו שרוצה שאני אשלח לו, לרשום את המספר טלפון שלו.
סליחה שנייה, אני יכולה לרשום כאן את המיטינג אידיאה ואת הפסוורד למי ש...
אז תודה רבה.
do it now, sorry.
אז דלית שולחת לנו. אז מי שרוצה להמשיך את התרגול, יש תרגול של מדיסין בודה, וגם שם אפשר להקדיש לחולים, לכל היצורים החיים, מישהו ספציפי, שמות, אפשר גם רק לרשום לנו אפילו בצ'אט, אם אתם רוצים שאנחנו נקדיש את התרגול, אז זה גם כן אפשרי. אנחנו, before I am, thank you again, אני losang, I'm just saying that we'll meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So if you can come a few minutes before and see that everything is okay and put your microphone mute. What else?
Well, otherwise, just come and go as you like. I mean, it's like, yeah. Or as you can. Okay? With the Zoom is really easy because it's not disturbing anyway. Yeah. Feel free. Feel free to join whatever you would like to join. Okay. So here it says something in Hebrew. It says 7:30. So that's what the Medicine Buddha practice. Yeah, we usually do. Will it be in Hebrew?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, like I think Hebrew, like.
Yeah, no, it's good. We usually do also in the evening. It's like. Then when we meet at Yom Kippur, then you usually do Medicine Buddha, and so because that's really when we do it for other people who are sick, that you can mention the names like that. We have a dedication list and other projects and like that. So it's very powerful practice to do on that day also.
Anila, I want to say about this is a private idea of Chagit. Okay. We are doing it together. We do it in a private Zoom room.
Well, there's a lot of. Can you say again? So you're doing it together?
With Chagit, and it will be the English book of FPMT, the latest version.
Okay.
And everybody's invited.
Oh, nice. Great. I'll have something else this evening. So this is why, with the group in Zurich. So it's Paula doing her last evening on the teachings on demystifying Tantra. So I'll be there. But I think it's really nice that you are doing Medicine Buddha. It's good to have these ideas and, like also with the precepts, it's so easy to take them. Full moon, new moon, or sometimes you can just somebody taking it, somebody leading it and showing the text, and then one person comes, great. Nobody comes, great. Also great. 10 people comes, also, yeah, because it's such a powerful practice. But somehow, yeah.
Yeah, it brought memories from the time in Tuval.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're still doing it, so you can see it on their website. It's just not me leading. The thing is, here I'm in a very small studio, and the people who live above, they can hear just about everything. So I already told them. I said, sometimes I'm singing. Does it disturb you? It's a very old lady. She's 87 years old. And she doesn't hear so well, but her granddaughter lives with her, so not to leave her alone. So I don't know. I haven't met her yet. So then I feel a bit not so free, you know, to get up like 5 o'clock in the morning and starting a lot of noise here. So, yeah. Anyway, we will see. But if you want to participate, because it's Rafa is doing it, and he's definitely doing it in English because he doesn't speak German. So just in case. And if you want to, if somebody, you know, you can take turns doing it full moon, new moon, then yeah.
No, we will take the address from you.
The address, oh, it's Longku, and wait, I can put it in the chat. Just a sec. Where's the chat here? Longku, FPNTCH, and Longku small. Yeah, and you can get the link from the website. And them is like really easy, you know, all the link for all the programs are the same. So it's like, no need to. Longku, FPMT.ch. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I sent it only to Omri. Ooh. Why isn't it going? Hey, now. There we go. Okay. So that's it. Have a nice evening. When it's Yom Kippur, do you say Chag Sameach or not? You have to open your microphone in Bala, otherwise I can't hear you.
Gemar Hatima Tova.
Oh, no, this is too complicated.
Too complicated.
But
so the meaning is complicated, not only the words.
Yes.
Okay, the meaning is complicated. So anyway, but in Buddhist terms, one would say, you know, have a very inspiring time during this time. May you purify a lot of negative karma. May you create a lot of positive so that we can all attain enlightenment just like this, instantaneously. Okay? And be happy and joyful. It's so important. Yeah. Don't go around, you know, don't feel like the victim if you now made the decision not to eat and not to drink. And then you go, oh, why did I decide that? No, be joyful and use a strategy to lighten up. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. Maybe see you tomorrow, if not another time. And do take care.
Bye, Lala.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See
Bye.
you tomorrow.
Okay, Varda.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Varda is saying, Kamar Hatima Tova is may I sign by God to the good side and not to death, you know, or not to negative states, I would say. That's okay. Yeah, may we be pervaded by God who only wants the good for all beings and not just, you know.
Well, at least this is what it's meant.
This is what it meant. Yeah, it's nice. So may we do good things happily, joyfully, you know, not with an agenda, but just for the sake of doing it.
And all the year, not only before Yom Kippur.
May we get into the habit of doing good things. Yeah. May it become our nature, not our second nature, but our true nature, isn't it? Okay, take care, everybody, and bye.
Bye.
Bye.